other countries.
That's up. In 2015, the National Coalition of Anti-Violence Programs, which AVP coordinates, responded to 24 hate violence homicides, and 62% of them were people of color. This devastating statistics makes the reality of what happened in Orlando much more troubling and further points to the epidemic of violence that LGBT people are facing in New York City and nationally.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about the Orlando shooting that just occurred a couple days ago. It truly was an unfortunate situation, and it's something that I just wanted to address. I was a little bit iffy at first about putting up this video just because I feel like it's a touchy subject for people, and it is an extremely sad time at the fact that we lost so many people. But it is something that is really hitting me hard and hitting home for me, and I just wanted to, share my thoughts and share my feelings about it. And I realized this is why I started my channel, to honestly speak my opinion on things that are going on in the world. And being an activist, you're going to learn that everyone's going to have different opinions on things that are going on. So I decided I should just put it up and see what happens. My heart truly goes out to all the family members and loved ones and friends that were lost in the Orlando shooting. It definitely is a heartbreaking experience. I live here in New York City, and it's definitely something that is bothering me, and not just me, but like my family, and you can definitely feel it in the air, like just something is not right. And I did go ahead, as you can see in the introduction of this video, I went to the vigil that was going on in New York City in the Village, and it was just such an intense, I don't know how to say it, but it was kind of hard for me when I was there. I only was able to stay for about 30 or 40 minutes just because it was a great thing to go to. I mean, there was hundreds of people there. There was massive amounts of support going on, which is amazing, and the speeches and the speakers did an amazing job. But I just felt uncomfortable. Like, it was overwhelming at the fact that like so many people died in one night because of someone who just couldn't accept the fact that there's people in the LGBT community, and also from what I've heard in the minority community, and couldn't deal with the fact that that's going on in society today, which is sad. And although I live in New York City, I do have most of my family who lives in Orlando, or like right near Orlando, and it just made me think, like that could have been my family member or my friends. And even though it wasn't, thank God, anyone that I knew, it still breaks my heart because it's unfortunate that 50 lives were lost, and about a number of 40 something people were injured and brought to the hospital, and this is out of control. I mean, I truly wish that people would just start accepting the fact that there is an LGBT community, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's amazing. Like, we need to stop judging people on who their preference is, of who they want to love or who they want to like or who they want to spend their time with and who their heart belongs to. And I mean, it's ridiculous. I have so many friends in that community, and I mean, personally, I don't look at them any differently. At the end of the day, we're all people. We're all amazing people, and we should not be looked down on or frowned upon or hated in that sense, and killed just for who we like and who we're into and our sexual preferences. And it's ridiculous. And I know that it's going to take like years and years of work, unfortunately, for people to get used to it and just deal with it. But like I said to begin with, it's not something that people should have to sort of like deal with. It's something that should have never been an issue. You know what I mean? We go about our days, do what we do, love who we love, and it shouldn't stop us from like living our life. People spend way too much time worrying about that, as opposed to worrying about things that they actually should worry about, such as hunger and homelessness. And now on the news that there was a report that someone heard Omar saying he wouldn't stop killing until the US stopped killing people in his country. And I honestly think that if it weren't for, I'm not saying that this is because of Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is constantly going around saying that as soon as he becomes president, he's going to kill families in ISIS. It's definitely not going to help us. And I think if Donald Trump continues to speak like this, we're going to have constant attacks going on here in the US. And it's just going to make things a lot worse. Another reason that this is hitting home for me is because I am Puerto Rican and my family is Puerto Rican, and there were 50 people killed in the Orlando shooting. 23 of them were Puerto Rican, and beside those 23 Puerto Ricans who were killed, another 8 of those people were of Hispanic descent. I hear some of them were Mexican and Colombian and from other countries, and which means that literally more than 50% of the people who were killed were Puerto Rican or Latino or Latina or Latinx, which is the term that people are using now for Hispanic transgenders. And it's ridiculous. I mean, it's hitting me hard just because being Puerto Rican, we already have to deal with racism and police brutality and things like that, which are unfortunate as it is. And now on top of it, you know, being Latino or Latina and in the LGBT community is what people are now calling like a double minority, or they're having all sorts of names for it. And you know, the fact that we already have to deal with racism and police brutality and things like that, it's super hard for someone to not be accepted in society as gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and things like that. And now you're a Hispanic who is in the LGBT community, and it's extremely hard, and it sucks. And I heard that Omar, the shooter, did have a problem in the past with Hispanics, Puerto Ricans to be exact, and I think there was like a backstory or something like that. So I believe that's why he did go to Pulse nightclub specifically and decide to do the shooting there. Another thing is, like, people in the LGBT community go to gay nightclubs to feel like they are more comfortable, because it's unfortunate that society doesn't really accept them and treat them properly in a regular club setting. So here these people are going to a club within their community to, you know, feel more comfortable and have a good time and just like embrace themselves. Another thing that I completely don't agree with is the fact that I found online in an article that in 2013 and 2014 Omar was actually under investigation with the FBI for a couple different reasons, and I feel like instantly someone like that should be put on a no-fly list. And I saw on the news a couple days ago that Omar had purchased 3 tickets to fly out to Los Angeles in July. So the 3 tickets were going to be for him, his wife, and his child. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like there's a disconnect with the FBI. Obviously, since September 11th, you know what the U.S. has been going through. We're always having constant terror attacks and terror threats and things like that. So if somebody's under question of the FBI to be part of, I think it was Al-Qaeda and things like that, why wouldn't you put them on a no-fly list? Like, why are they being able to fly into the U.S. and to fly all over the place? Obviously, I mean, I don't want to say this is a definite, but I have a strong feeling that he did this to do another attack in Los Angeles. And obviously, I can't sit here and say that I know that for sure. I mean, but it doesn't fall far from, you know, his track record. Obviously, this guy really planned these things out. Another question that I have for the nightclub is the fact that I was told Omar went in earlier that night to the club, got a wristband, left for 2 hours, and then came back with assault rifles and then went in and started shooting. So I've been to multiple clubs in the Orlando area just because, like I said, my family lives over there, and I know that by 2 or 2:30 they have to start closing down. It's not like New York where they can stay up and party till like 4 or 5 in the morning. So my thing is, the assault rifles that he has are very large, and just the fact that he had a band on, I don't know where the security guard was at the point, but they should definitely make sure that security guards and bouncers should stay outside until the very last minute and until they are closed. Like, it's not okay at the fact that, like, okay, we're going to close in 15 minutes, we're going to let the security guard wander and do what he wants. And I know they probably didn't say that he could do that, but I think they definitely need to question him a little bit more or have some sort of charges on him, because he could have been that person to sort of stop him. I know Omar would have probably, unfortunately, shot and killed him, but there definitely could have been a quicker chance and a quicker response for the police, you know, to get there before he even started shooting all these people. And that's something that I don't understand why is not being brought up. I know I only heard about it like once or twice really briefly, and I'm not trying to blame the security guard or the bouncer, but it definitely could have made a difference, and that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, one of the assault rifles he was using was very large, and you cannot just walk into a club with that, you know what I mean? So that just doesn't really make sense to me. The thing that it just like really pisses me off is the fact that on the morning of the attack, I heard that Omar posted a post on Facebook, and in that post he said that in the next few days you will see an attack from the Islamic State, in the U.S. And like I said before, if this guy is obviously, if he's been questioned before with the FBI and things like that, and he puts a Facebook post up, the only thing the FBI did was try and find out more information. So my thing is, if you know this guy has a really bad past and he's capable of doing things like this, the moment they see that, my thing is they should have tracked him and been following him around and, you know, taking him in for questioning. And I know you probably can't just take someone in and question them for no reason, but I mean, they definitely should have been like following him and seeing what's going on about that, because that definitely was a red flag. He put that out there for people to see, and we didn't really act upon it. And I know that I don't know all the information, and I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, especially with the FBI, but clearly there was something that could have been done to stop this, or to narrow more down on like his location and what exactly he was doing. So like I said, I'm sorry if this video seems all over the place. I am a little bit uncomfortable talking about it just because it's something that is truly really bothering me. It's insane. I cannot believe that all these people lost their lives when they were just out thinking they were going to go home safely at the end of the night, and they were just having a really good time enjoying, you know, Pride Month and everything like that. Thank you so much for watching my video, guys. Once again, like and subscribe below if you haven't already.